St. Louis sports fans, go deeper with STL Sports Central Insiders. Get exclusive access to Bernie, Randy, Claves, Jamal Mayers, and more. Plus, your chance to watch a Blues game in the Alumni Box with Jamal himself. Monthly giveaways, Bernie's columns all week, and support for local sports media. Join now at stlsportscentral.com.
Hey there. Good day to you. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Welcome to the Bernie Show here on STL Sports Central, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. And in case you didn't remember, the DraftKings goes live and legal in Missouri today, December the 1st. Because of that, this is certainly more exciting than most Mondays. And I'll tell you more about DraftKings, of course, in a little while. I'm Bernie Miklasz. Been writing and talking about St. Louis area sports since 1985. I do 5 videos and write 5 columns each week here on STL Sports Central. Also do some segments with my friend and colleague, Randy Garricker. You can also catch me frequently throughout the week on multiple shows on KMOX, FM, and AM. Today's topic, Eli Drinkwitz is staying on as a coach of Missouri Football Tigers, which is good news for sure. But now the pressure is on Drink to lift this program to a higher level within the SEC. Drink's salary boost, his overall contract, the stakes for him, and the stakes for the Mizzou football program have been raised as well. When you invest this much money repeatedly in a head coach, you can be satisfied that he's gotten the program to this level. But you also expect more, and you may even demand more. And that's where we are with Mizzou's football program and their coach. As of the first day of December, today, the only SEC coaches that can top Drinkwitz in his annual average salary in his new contract extension are Georgia's Kirby Smart, Texas coach Steve Sarkisian, and the new LSU head coach Lane Kiffin. That's pretty impressive for Drinkwitz to be up there. That salary ranking could change when new contracts materialize, but as of now, Drink is the 4th highest paid SEC coach in the 16-team conference, and I believe he ranks in the top 10 nationally. Listen, Drinkwitz has done a strong job of elevating a Mizzou program that flattened out after winning SEC titles, SEC East titles under Gary Pinkel in 2013-14. From 2015 through 2019, Mizzou had an overall winning percentage of .484 that ranked 11th among the 14 SEC teams over the 5 seasons. That's when there were only 14 teams. Since Drinkwitz became coach in 2020, he's had a .622 overall winning percentage in his 6 seasons. The same goes in terms of Mizzou's before and after look in SEC games. In the 5 seasons before Coach Drink, the Tigers were 12 games under 500 in SEC play for a .350 winning percentage. That was tied for 11th among the 14 teams at the time. Well, in Drink's 6 seasons, Mizzou has a .520 winning percentage in SEC games, a figure that ranks 6th among the 14 SEC teams that have been continuous members of the conference since 2020. Let's see. An overall winning percentage that's 138 points higher than the 5 seasons before he arrived, and a conference game winning percentage that's 170 points higher from the 5 seasons that preceded his hiring as Mizzou's coach. Now, I'd say that's pretty damn good. And when I say it's pretty damn good, I'm not saying it's great, but it's pretty damn good. And it clearly represents significant progress. Now, the Drinkwitz deniers can be awfully irrational at times, or most of the time, and they would push back on the obvious facts of Mizzou's improvement under this coach, which, despite the holes in his record, which I'll get to, don't worry about that, it's still kind of bizarre that there's a faction of fans won't give him credit. What, do you want to fire him? They take your chances on who? Anyway, Mizzou's previous head coach, Barry Odom, had an overall 500 winning percentage in his 4 seasons. And Drink tops Odom's overall record by 122 percentage points. Odom was 6 games under 500 in SEC games, winning percentage .406. Drinkwitz tops that by 114 percentage points. Yeah, they've made progress, but they got to make more. That's the key. They got to make more. Drink's done a terrific job in the transfer portal. He has led the way into pushing for improved football-related facilities, stadium upgrades. Attendance has gone up. Statewide interest has gone up. There's been a steady upturn in recruiting and the overall prestige or prominence of the Mizzou program. Not where you want it to be, but it is still going up. It still has increased. As much as he's tried to motivate the Mizzou boosters to pump more money in the NIL program, the Tigers are still lower than you want them to be. According to a recent story on the on3.com site, which is very good, very credible, Mizzou ranks 10th in the SEC with an average of $88,000 in NIL money per player. That figure obviously must rise and substantially for Mizzou to become more capable of standing in and trading punches with the SEC's big money heavyweight programs. That's just the reality. This has got to happen. More invested into the NIL program. That's how the coach will get better players, and that's what he needs. Now, if you think this is an Eli Drinkwitz cheerleading video for me, you got selective hearing, and you have to keep watching, and I'll make sure that I will get into all of that because I never have gotten away from that. I felt compelled at the front of this video to lay out the magnitude of how this coach has indeed factually motivated or elevated Mizzou's program, because I think it's essential to at least try to have some perspective, just to try to have a little perspective. And as much as the coach annoys me in some areas, which he does, Mizzou football is clearly in a much better place under Eli Drinkwitz. There's still a hell of a lot of work to do, of course, and especially after this new contract. They got to improve the Tigers in a number of ways, and that responsibility is all on Drinkwitz and his ability to coax big donors, big boosters to pour more money into the NIL. He's a great salesman. Okay, so get out there and sell some more, coach. I'll get into that after I present an exciting update about DraftKings and the state of Missouri. Missouri, your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is now live in your state, and that would be the Show Me the Money state now. You can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more, and you can do it all from your phone. Easy, safe, secure, simple to use. And did I mention fun? Mizzou fans, Missouri fans, they certainly know game day, the tailgates, the noise, the passion, the entertainment. Now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win. And that applies to every other sport and sports terminology you want to use. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. So, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code STL Sports. That's important, STL Sports. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly by using that code STL Sports. DraftKings, the crown is yours, and it's go time in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years old plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after being issued. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. All right, welcome back to my second segment of Monday's Bernie Show here on STL Sports Central. I want to say this up front. No one out there's got to tell me about how so many of Mizzou's wins under Drinkwitz have come by beating up on lesser opponents. Well aware of that. I've done the numbers. Way well aware of that. In fact, Missouri's 4 conference wins this season were against the very worst 4 teams in the conference: South Carolina, Auburn, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. Those 4 squads were combined 3-29 in SEC play this season. Yeah, easy pickings. Over the last 3 seasons, Mizzou's victory in SEC play have come against teams that were collectively 27-93 in conference games at the end of each of those 3 seasons, 27-93. So yeah, I know it all about that and been pointed it out before, but don't mind doing it again. I don't need any education on the Drinkwitz record against ranked opponents as Mizzou's coach. In his 6 seasons, the Tigers are 7-8 against ranked opponents, and they've lost 9 out of 10 games against teams ranked in the top 10 of the AP poll. Still, that has improved over the last 3 seasons. Mizzou, in terms of overall games and overall records, 29-9 since the start of 2023, which puts them 9th in winning percentage nationally among the power conference teams and Notre Dame. Now, over the last 3 seasons, Mizzou's record against ranked opponents has gotten better. It's 5-9, including a 4-4 record against teams ranked anywhere from 11th through 25th. But beating top 10 teams has been a big struggle for Mizzou. That continues. Drink is 1-10 against top 10s in his 6 seasons as Mizzou coach. You would expect and hope that gets better. But then again, and this is what some of the loudmouths miss. I'm a loudmouth, but at least I do my homework. What we're seeing here is actually pretty typical of Mizzou's modern football history. And I'm talking about some of the great coaches, maybe the 3 best coaches in Mizzou's modern era. The immortal Dan Devine had a losing record against ranked opponents, and he went 3-14 against top 10 teams. Were people calling for him to be fired way back then? I would say probably not, because there wasn't any social media back then. Gary Pinkel had a losing record against ranked teams, and he was 1-7 against top 10 teams. You know, the best coach against top competition was Al Onofrio, who succeeded Devine and was the head coach from 71 through 76. Had a really good record, actually, against top 10s and ranked opponents. But here's the bottom line. Let's pan out for the wide view. Since 1956 and through 2019, Mizzou's head coaches collectively had a .267 winning percentage against ranked teams and were a horrendous 19-101 against top 10 opponents. That is, my friends, a 158 winning percentage. So in Drink's 6 seasons, his winning percentage against ranked teams is better, about 13 points higher than the Mizzou coaches that had preceded him since 1956. Now, I ain't saying he has a good record against ranked teams. What I'm saying is at least it is better than what came before Drink over the last 6+ decades before he became the head coach in 2020. That's all. So what does that tell us? It tells us that does this say, well, all these head coaches were lightweights and losers. Can't beat those ranked teams. Can't beat the top 10 teams. Lightweights, losers. That's quite an indictment, and it's also bull manure. I think this has been more of a program thing, or, a university thing, or a systemic thing, because for nearly 70 seasons, Mizzou head coaches as a group have fit into the same category. You get the program, you build it up, you rise it up to a certain level, a real positive level, but you can't really make that leap to go way up here to the elite college football level. It's happened in specific seasons where Mizzou does rise to that level, then to recede. But I'm talking about consistent success over a long period of time against best competition, not just in random years here and there. So Drinkwitz, in my opinion, because he's been able to build it up to this level, now needs to go way up here. He's got it to this level, so he's got a shot to establish more consistency against the better teams, the elite teams. I'm assuming there's going to be more money invested in Mizzou's NIL from outside donors, and may even be a lot more NIL money. We'll see. And the larger financial investment in the head coach and the facilities and the fundraising and the Mizzou administration support means that Drinkwitz is going to be judged differently from now on. Mizzou football is in a better place because of him, actually a much better place because of him. Well, unless you, of course, think that the Barry Odom years were magical and exciting. I don't, but whatever gets you jolly. Just be jolly. If you thought Barry Odom was the quintessential coach that, everyone must emulate, okay, great. Good for you. Go see a doctor soon. Drinkwitz also has had the full support of the Mizzou administration and pretty much gets what he asked for. This is not a normal luxury for Mizzou football coaches who've had to kind of scratch and claw and fight and beg for resources. But Drink has gotten that, and he's gotten it over and over and over again, including with this new contract. But with all these positives added to the Drinkwitz Foundation, the outlook's going to change now. When your program has, at this moment, one of the top 10 highest paid coaches in college football and the number 4 highest paid coach in the SEC, the coach is now swimming in the deep end of the pool, and he's got to show that he can not only survive there, but he can thrive there. More should be expected now, and more will be expected now. A top 4 salary in the SEC should lead to a top 4, a top 5 SEC football program. If not, then what's the investment all about? And if the coach stalls or slips over the next several seasons, I doubt that many Mizzou fans will maintain that mix of tolerance and forgiveness and understanding. I think it's imperative to be fair. But again, the stakes are higher now, period. And that should be reflected in how Eli Drinkwitz is viewed. And the battleground's only going to get tougher now because the SEC is switching, as you know, to a 9-game conference schedule for every team in 2026. So, among other things, Drink's got to fix the SEC's worst passing attack. It was the worst passing attack in 2025 in terms of conference games, and it ain't even a debate. He needs a much better quarterback and has to spend more money on the position of settling for a lower tier quarterback. Why hasn't he been able to recruit a quarterback that was as good as was as good as Brady Cook, who was recruited by Barry Odom? That's actually an embarrassment for Eli Drinkwitz, if you ask me. Look, he needs better pass protection for his quarterbacks. He needs to clean up the special teams. In my view, Drink would be well served to hire a more creative offensive coordinator and then stay out of the way and let the new OC run the offense. When a successful head coach gets all that he asks for, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want that, done. We're going to have a meeting the day before Thanksgiving, an emergency meeting, and we'll get that contract done. Everything you want, coach. Well, he has to deliver by becoming a great coach. He's a good coach. He's got to become a great coach. And he's going to have to take a good program and make it a great program. That is the challenge. And after the latest generous contract extension, the stakes are much higher for Eli Drinkwitz at Mizzou. That contract runs through 2031. But then again, we kind of know how these contract works, right? Enough of that. Before I jump back in, real quick, I want to thank the folks at St. Louis Hot Tub Warehouse. I didn't have my weekly The Bernie Guarantee segment late last week because we were off for Thanksgiving and the day after. So before I go, I do just want to tell you to check out I'm Russian. I can't do that. Please check out the St. Louis Hot Tub Warehouse for the highest quality and the best price. To do that, visit besthotTubprices.com today. Again, thank you to St. Louis Hot Tub Warehouse. Thanks for watching. Remember, the DraftKings Sportsbook app is now open for your business in the Show Me the Money states. Good luck. We'll talk tomorrow here on The Bernie Show.